I don't trust Buffalo. They just went and lost 9-6 to Jacksonville. They lost to this Titans team we're talking about. To me, the big apprehension I have now with the Titans moving forward without Derrick Henry is what their run game is ultimately going to look like when everything shakes out offensively for them. And I think that if you're still riding with the Bills as the team in the AFC, you're only doing that because they were in the AFC Championship most recently outside of Kansas City.
Well, who would you ride with?
And went to the Super Bowl. I would ride with the Titans based on results. This is like my debate about...
I still don't trust them.
I don't either, but that's the AFC. Who do you trust in the AFC?
That's my question. Well, Buffalo. Buffalo is still among the top teams.
But again, I don't trust Buffalo. They just went and lost 9-6 to Jacksonville. They lost to this Titans team we're talking about. They've looked good at times, but... The Titans, 6 of their 7 wins were against playoff teams from a year ago. They've already swept the Colts. I'm shocked that I'm saying this because the Titans have a left tackle who's either injured or doesn't want to play when he's actually available to play. They've got a defense that's been banged up this year. That was one of the worst in football a year ago. Their entire team on offense was revolving around Derrick Henry, and he's injured, and he's out. But I still sit here on Monday after they beat the Rams and think, based on results, again, this is the old college football playoff committee thing that I talk about. You got to base it off results and not necessarily what's going to happen in the future. Based off what I've seen from these teams this year, the Titans have a miserable performance against a very good Arizona team that no one knew quite how good they were in that first week. And they got blasted in game 1. And they've got their mulligan game they'd like back. They've got a game that they played without A.J. Brown, with a lot of injury concerns against the Jets. They looked awful. They lost that game. Outside of that, and they're not just outside of that. You have to factor that in. But their total resume, better than everyone in the AFC.
Because they scored in overtime in a couple games.
Yeah, better than everyone in the AFC. Again, win or lose.
Except for Baltimore.
Baltimore's the one spot that, yes.
Baltimore's also winning in overtime a lot. I mean, they're winning late. They have Justin Tucker, who wins them games in overtime from anywhere on the field, 66 yards or 23-yard chip shots. They trailed by 14 points 2 separate times yesterday and still beat the Vikings 34-31 in overtime.
Why do you have the Bills over the Ravens?
I would have the Bills over the Ravens because of their defense and because of the fact that Lamar Jackson is asked to do way too much right now. Lamar Jackson, while I think he's in contention for MVP, he's carrying Baltimore. 21 times the quarterback carried the football yesterday. 21 times. I don't think that equals longevity for him. I think Josh Allen has a chance to be healthier than Lamar Jackson.
I think the Ravens, to me right now, the Ravens discussion, Hutton, is even more valid than Bills versus Titans in terms of who's been the best so far this year. And look, I say I'm taking the Titans right now. I'm taking the Titans because I think their wins and their resume is better than everyone else in the AFC. But I also just watched them put up 195 yards. I know that Rams defense is good, but that's not going to be good enough because you're not going to get, well, maybe they'll continue to get games like this, but I don't think you're going to get that 2-play sequence where the game turns completely with Matthew Stafford looking like Carson Wentz on those 2 plays and giving the ball to the Titans and essentially giving the game to the Titans. They've got to figure things out on offense, but given where they've been and what their schedule looks like now down the stretch, I like the Titans and what they've done. Also, I watched Lamar Jackson play very well in Nashville in a playoff game a year ago and beat the Titans with a healthy Derrick Henry. So who's the best bet come playoff time? I fall back to what have we seen with the Bills? They're the most recent team outside of KC going to back-and-back Super Bowls to be in that AFC Championship game.